Nothing illegal happened to me. Nothing violent happened, I was not traumatized by the situation, but the issue was if this occurred to somebody else, or I had been in a different state, I had been more drunk, I didn't see the warning signs, that could have ended really, really badly. In March this year, I attended the Ivy, a Merivale-owned nightclub. When I went there with my friends, I was approached by a staff member who said to me that he would help me find two of my friends that I had lost. From there, he ushered us into a back of house area where he sat us down in a booth with 4 or 5 men that we didn't know. Immediately we were handed drinks and he started taking photos of us. We were obviously very confused about the situation, as he had told us he was going to help us find our friends. Quickly after the staff member had left, one of the males sitting in the booth leant over to me and asked me how long I had been working in this industry. I obviously was very confused about what he was asking, and I responded with, "What industry?" And he said, "The sex industry. The staff member you were just with told us you're sex workers and he'd organised for you to spend the night with us." The reason I came forward and spoke publicly about my experience was because I knew how many people had experienced something really horrific at these venues. I contacted the Merivale management team and told them about the situation. Initially they seemed quite concerned and as though they were going to be proactive with the situation, but quickly I learnt that was not true. I was told about 2 days later that the investigation was completed and there was no untoward behaviour. I first reported sexual assault in 2022, I think it was. That process was traumatizing in itself. Firstly, to acknowledge what has happened to you is a huge step and it takes a long time, and then to be able to have the courage to come forward, that is just another step that is so overwhelming. And then to be knocked down when you get to that point is so debilitating, and I don't think that these venues or this business, specifically Merivale, is understanding the impact that they're having on survivors of this kind of behaviour. Within the first 24 hours, I had received 50 responses, and that's when I realised how enormous this issue was. A lot of the responses and people that have reached out to me have repeatedly told me that they have expressed their concerns and the incidents that have occurred to them in these venues, and Merivale management has completely dismissed them. I had no way of telling these people that they were not alone in what occurred to them. I think he knows the words to use: concerned, distressed, devastated. But at the same time, if you read everything else he's said, he completely dismisses the victim survivors that have come out, even the ones that have claimed rape in his venues or by his staff. And if he was truly devastated, he would not be putting out a statement dismissing these people. He would be going to them directly and ensuring what he could do to support them, what the venue can do to support him, what the venue can do to change. They need to be taking accountability and proactively implementing measures to mitigate this from happening in the future. But that's not happening. This is not the reflection of a business who cares or respects their staff, because if they did, they would not be putting out these messages over and over again that everyone's lying, it's false, it doesn't matter. The more voices we have as a collective, the less they can get away with. They've been hiding behind money and exclusivity for way too long. Years and years and years this has been happening. And time's up.